If you're looking for one of the latest EVs that has good range, good power, and a lot of features and drives really well too, and can still charge pretty fast, this new Kia EV6 may be a game changer for you. Today we're going to take a good look at the exterior, the interior, and get it out on the road for a test drive and talk about everything there is to know about this EV6. Now real quick before we get started, I have had the EV6 before. This is the all-wheel drive. I had the rear-wheel drive before. I'm going to pretty much specifically talk about this one and abbreviate it a little bit. If you want to see a long detailed video talking about different trims, check in the description below because I have that and a night video of this car. But let's jump into it. Now a quick look at the exterior. This is pure electric and will range from the low 40,000s all the way up close to 60,000, just depending what you get. The grille is going to vary depending on the trim. You're going to get LED headlights. Standard, I have a night video showing those off if you want to check it out. This cool color is called steel matte gray, and you'll get anywhere from 19 to 20-inch wheels. 20-inch wheels on this all-wheel drive model. Plus the mirrors are going to be heated, power folding with signals, and it's only about 184.5 inches long, so it's similar to the Mach-E and Tesla Model 3, and it has the same wheelbase as the Telluride. Plus in the back you'll get LED taillights and an LED spoiler light, and I'd love to hear what you think of the overall design. Now the bottom trim is going to give you a manual tailgate, but the upper trims can give you this smart automatic hands-free tailgate. So you can hear it beeping. If you have the key fob on you and you are just back here for a few seconds, it will beep a few times and then automatically open just like that. No foot waving, no hand waving, anything like that. And then back here, cargo space is about 24.5 cubic feet. You've got levers to pull the second seat down, a 12-volt power outlet, and under the floor, you have a tire mobility kit, but no spare tire. When you fold things down, you get about 50 cubic feet, so it is a good amount of space considering its overall size. All right, now looking at the key fob to get in, we get the smart key with push button start standard. This one has remote start on here standard as well. Most of the buttons are actually on the side. You've got the remote smart park assist where you can move it in or out of a parking spot with those buttons here. Those are on the Wind or GT model. And these door handles are actually flush. They're arrow handles, but when you get close to the vehicle, you can have the manual pop-out handles on the lower trim or these automatic pop-out handles here. And I like these auto ones because then you can just get in. You don't have to push a button or touch anything. You can push a button here to lock it or use your key fob, but I just wonder how long these are going to work to pop out like that. Now the front seats of this EV6, so we're in the GT line and this is what we get. We've got some suede right here, some ultra suede with some leather on the side. Otherwise you can get synthetic seats. There's a couple different options here, but these seats are pretty comfortable. They have good bolstering on here. Got a really unique headrest, the way the seat design is, but I think they look nice. The bolstering is good. This ultra suede is also really soft. You've got two-way lumbar here, your typical height and tilt adjustment and reclining function. And one of the standard features here is actually memory settings, and the heated seats are also standard as well. On the GT line, this steering wheel is also heated, and check out this unique design right here with the leather wrapping. Ventilated seats are also going to be standard on this model with our heated seats and heated steering wheel. And comfort in here is good. I've been able to spend a couple of weeks with the EV6 and I've been comfortable the whole time with some somewhat distant trips, short trips. I've been comfortable. They're soft, got good bolstering, good positioning, and most of you should be able to find a comfortable spot. Now climbing into the back seat of this EV6, the back seat is fairly spacious and it still looks pretty nice back here too. Got the same nice materials you do up front. But first of all, over on the door, one of the optional features we have here is the heated second row seats. Still get a padded armrest and soft material here and a little felt lined bottle holder just like up front. Even though the exterior dimensions aren't real big, you still have good knee space. So I'm 5'9", sitting behind where I like to sit. I've got pretty good space right there, and there's no hump in the middle. So middle passengers can still be comfortable. And check this out. You've got USB ports on the side of each seat. Those are both USB-C type ports. There's no vents right there, but you do have a vent on each post or each pillar on each side. Right in the middle, you got a center folding armrest, and check this out, cup holders or storage and some padding. Headroom is okay. I can sit here, I can just barely feel my hair touch, but overall, it's gonna be good for a lot of people. These seats can even recline some. Now let's take a look inside the interior here, and since I have covered this in detail, this will be a little bit more abbreviated. I'm just gonna show you all that you get. So to start it up, you push that button right there, and when it's on and ready, you know, it's electric, so it's quiet, it will say ready in that little corner. Over on the side, the door panel, the entire door panel is nice and soft. From the armrest next to the arm here, a large arm or grab handle. You can put your phone, your keys, things like that. Nice layout of switches and handle, and a little bit of bottle storage there. Crazy thing is, even in here, this is a felt line or a softly lined area. Just to the inside, you get a few more controls like an electronic parking brake. And then coming across, the entire layout is unique. So the dash right here, you have this screen that like separates the dash and everything else. The screen is like one large piece with two different displays. Then you have this really unique and interesting patterned material here. It's like a plasticky material, but kind of a matte look. And I think it looks nice. You have some ambient lighting below that you can see, and touch buttons down there. But on the steering wheel, this is leather wrapped. This one is also heated here. Drive mode buttons right here. All the typical controls to control your display and your cruise control there. This display is standard, and one thing that you get is the blind spot camera here. So check that out. Blind spot camera, you can see right next to you when you turn your signal. And then all the information on here can be scrolled through with your steering wheel. It's just like other Kia and Hyundai vehicles, but it gives you a good amount of information and different views. Our top trim gives us an augmented reality head-up display as well. It's kind of interesting, shows you a good amount of info on there. And then coming over here, this display is also standard on here. This is a large 12.3-inch display. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you have to have it plugged in. There's no wireless as of this time. I like the software for the most part on here. It's pretty user-friendly. You just have to dig around a little bit and get used to it. You can see a fair amount of information on here too. It'll even show you where you can charge, which is kind of cool if you want to have that set up. But the home screen, everything works well. You even have a quiet mode. So if you want, when you turn quiet mode on, as it says, the music and stuff will only come to the front seat. So if you've got kids, that could come in handy. Moving down, one complaint that I have is that the climate controls and the audio controls share the same screen. So if you want to turn up the volume, but it's on audio, you're going to turn up the heat. You have to alternate between those, which is a little bit annoying, but it gives it a really simplified look right here. And you do have dual zone climate control on here as well. Just down from there, we've got two USB ports, a USB-A and USB-C, plus another USB and 12-volt power outlet down there, and an extra little storage mat down there too. That's actually quite large. And the rubber material here, or the material down here, is rubberized, so things won't rattle or slide around. So this is a floating armrest. There's even a little cord organizer right here. So a cord can slide right in here, so your cord is tucked up nice and neat on there. Floating armrest. I don't like the piano black, but it's not a ton. You do have touch sensitive controls here for like heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats. It's not an actual button, you actually just tap it and touch it. Start button, shifter right here, brake hold, and the camera is pretty nice. So you've got different views that you can see on here. Of course, regular backup camera, 360 view. Check this out. You can actually move it just like that. So you can see if you're in your lines, how did I do parking? So you can see how that is. You can see right next to a wheel if you want to. It's pretty awesome. We also have a wireless charging mat on here, good size cup and bottle holders that are out of the way, an extra little storage mat. The armrest is not super soft. It's not like super soft padding, but it does give you a soft surface. And then a good size storage bin down there. There's no plugs inside of here though. We've got a push button opening glove box with 2 tiers. Automatic dimming rearview mirror with garage controls, and overhead you've got LED interior lighting, and then just your standard size moonroof in this one. At night there is ambient lighting on these GT line models, and it looks pretty nice. It's got different colors. Be sure to check out my night video for more details. Now the powertrain for this EV, it is pure EV, and there's 2 different size batteries. This model and the Wind model are going to give you the larger battery with either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I already talked about the rear-wheel drive in my last video, so this all-wheel drive model will have 320 horsepower and 446 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot. Plus 274 miles of range with all-wheel drive, and the all-wheel drive also adds a heat pump HVAC system. Rear-wheel drive is going to give you more range, but you get more power with this, and this is going to get to 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Okay, now when it comes to charging EVs is always one of those topics of arguments if you look in the comment section. It doesn't charge fast enough. Charging network is just not robust enough for the US yet. But the Kia EV6 actually does a nice job with this. They have built-in fast charging capability to where you can fast charge this from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. That can be about 217 miles of range in 18 minutes. So that helps a lot. There's been several EVs I have where they just don't charge very fast. You can obviously charge it with a regular 3-prong outlet, 120 volt, but the problem is this does not come with a charging cord. You're gonna have to buy your own or count on going somewhere to charge it. I personally bought a 240 volt plug, and I had a 240 volt plug put in my garage, so I can plug this in and you can have it charged overnight. So that's something you might want to consider. You don't have to buy a big fancy charging box, big fancy charging cord if you don't want. I have a 40 amp cord and it charges very well, very quickly, and I just got it put in my garage. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of this Kia EV6, pure electric, and one thing to note right away is that these EV6s come with a lot of standard driver's assist tech. So this can have the navigation-based drivers, or GPS-based navigation, and it can also have the lane changing system. So it can actually change lanes for you if you want it to. You've got radar cruise control, lane centering technology, emergency braking, pretty much all of that stuff. Blind spot indicators. I mean, it's just loaded. And first impression, so I've driven this before. If you want to see a longer, more detailed test drive, check my other video, but this one is a little bit faster than that rear-wheel drive model, and I'll show you how that goes. You can have different noises come through here. You can have there be basically no noise. You can have there be kind of some electric sounding noise when you accelerate, like, you know, things like that, if you want it to. Or you can leave it pretty quiet, because it is a smooth and quiet ride overall. That's one of the benefits of driving an EV, just quiet. It's just no engine sound, and it's a smooth ride here too. So even just cruising along right here, just in normal mode, we're not in sport mode or anything, a little bit of pedal down, just a little bit, and it just gets going so quickly. It just has instant torque. That's the biggest thing about driving an electric car, is the instant torque that you get in here. The other thing, big thing to note, is that this has paddle shifters. They're not actually paddle shifters. They change the amount of regenerative braking you have. Right now it's on level 0, which means there's no regenerative braking essentially. If I hit it on level 1, it starts to slow me down. Level 2, more. Level 3, and then I pedal, which is like one pedal driving. It's gonna bring you to a stop and then hold you there if you want it to. So that can be in handy, because every time you're letting off the gas, it's recapturing energy, helping to extend your range, but then you can still hit the pedal and accelerate really quickly if you want to, or let off and it starts braking and it'll bring you to a stop. If I go back to like level 1, it's just a light little bit of braking to help recapture some energy. So it's essentially charging the battery a little bit when you do that. Now, ride comfort in here is good. Electric cars have a different feel to them when it comes to ride comfort. You have a lot of weight at the base of the vehicle and a rigid frame to hold that battery, and it just feels different than your typical car. But this is a nice, smooth, and comfortable ride, especially considering it's not a luxury brand. So I'm gonna put us in sport mode. We got drive mode button right here. That's gonna make it more responsive. It's not, there's no RPMs necessarily to rev up like there is in some vehicles, and you can still adjust the regenerative braking function, level 1, 2, 3, or one pedal drive. But in sport mode, this all-wheel drive, not only does it have great traction, it also just absolutely hauls. 0 to 60 is rated at about 5.1 seconds, and you have just constant pull and torque in here. It's just phenomenal. And with the heavy battery being at the base of the car, you have good handling dynamics too, because you got a lower center of gravity. This car handles well. A lot of you are going to be very impressed. It's fun to drive. It's just fun to drive, even though it's still got good range. It's meant for efficiency. and you have all-wheel drive ability. You can have rear-wheel drive if you want. So I put us in level 0, and we're just kind of coasting. So it feels like normal car. You can go level 1 or 2, and it starts to brake for you a little bit. You can go to eco mode, and it will help to kind of dull your throttle. But overall, driving the EV6 is fun, it's efficient, and it's just everything you would expect in an electric car. You can do the one-pedal driving, you can control your regenerative braking, or you can just drive it completely normally if you want. You also have laminated glass here. I believe it's on everything but the base. So this is a nice quiet ride. I mean, I just hit some little rumble strips there. And in some cars, it just vibrates everything. It's really loud, but it's actually nice and quiet in this Kia EV6. I'm very pleased with that, and it makes for a really nice driving impression overall. Really, my only complaint with this interior, I would say, is the controls down here, how you have to share climate and audio, regular controls there. But not a huge deal. Otherwise, I like it. Now, to wrap things up on this Kia EV6, there is so much to like about it if you're looking for an EV. It can charge very quickly. It's got a nice amount of features on the inside. It's got pretty good range. It can be rear or all-wheel drive, and it's fun to drive. So if you're considering an EV, would you look at this EV6 maybe over a Model 3, a Model Y, or maybe over the Ford Mustang Mach-E? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave them down below. Be sure to check out some of the other videos I have of this EV6 in the description. But have a great rest of your day. Thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more videos. We'll catch you next time.